I would like to start this video off by saying it has been 2 whole decades since I have lived in the projects. I am now 27 years old. Just celebrated my 27th birthday, getting cut off by an idiot truck driver 4 days ago. So happy birthday to me. Whoop, whoop. Boy, 27 now, but it's been 2 decades, bro. It's been 20 years. I moved out, well, probably moved out at like age 8, so it's probably been like 7.5 years, something like that. But praying for them, bro. Golly. Wow. It's been 7.5 years since I've been there, but I've learned a lot, bro. I've learned a lot. This was in my earlier years, so we're talking from birth to 7, going on 8. I am grateful for that time period in my life because it showed me to value certain things, to respect certain things, to always see good and bad, or to always see positive. And I feel like, quite frankly, we don't have enough of that today. But I remember a lot from that time, and I will also state that I was not in the worst. I was not in the worst projects, guys. I was not. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and tell you, we had shootings every night, and everybody was, everybody's blinds was falling off their house. That was only some people, all right? It was some people. It was not every single house, though, all right? I'm not gonna sit here and lie to y'all and tell y'all I was in the most dangerous projects in the United States, and everybody's outside selling crack and smoking weed. I was not in that type of projects, all right? I was not. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you, and I am so grateful I was not in those type of projects, all right? I feel for some of you guys who have been in those type of projects, who are currently living in those type of projects, because that is frightening, that is scary, and that is real life. Like, to have to live somewhere and have to fend for your life daily and worry about your life daily, just trying to live, at your own, a place you call home, it's simply mind-boggling. So I will not sit here and lie and tell you guys that was my living experience, because it was not, all right? It was not my living experience. However, I was in a very small town, probably 20,000 people max. I'm sure that number has grown now, not by much. It's still a small town. And where I lived, it was considered the boonies, bro. It was dead considered the boonies. The poorest of the poor lived in that specific part of the town, all right? They were all flats, first off, okay? So no stairs. Nobody had any stairs. All flats. I remember we had a 4-bedroom, I guess they're kind of like a duplex. Not an apartment, but a duplex. So they're lined out. Each duplex unit probably has 3 to 4 housing experiences per unit. So I don't really specifically remember how many units we had, because again, I was 7 years old and younger. But I do remember we had a 4-bedroom. We had a 4-bedroom. And I know y'all thinking, oh, wow, you do that. Nah, bro, we had a 4-bedroom, right? It was me, my grandmother, who is my mom's mom. She passed away. RIP to her. My great-great-grandfather, my mom's dad. So that's 3 of us. My mom, my Aunt Toya. I'm not going to say their names, my bad. My Aunt T. My other Aunt S. My other Aunt S. My other Aunt S. They all have a lot of S names. So that's 8. My uncle. So that's 11. and then my aunt's 2 kids. So it was 13 of us in a 4-bedroom. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to y'all, bro. I never once, and I guess it's just compliments to, shout out to the grandmothers, bro, because they make something out of nothing, literally. Because we damn sure had nothing. We were not the fortunate, bro. But there was never a day I woke up and I felt like we didn't have something we needed. You know, and it was shout out to her, bro. It was shout out to her for real. So it was 13 of us in a 4-bedroom. My memories are pretty much all great, except my injuries. I had some brutal injuries in that time period of my life. And it's just called being a kid, bro. Just call it being a kid. You think you're invincible. You don't really know what hurt feels like until it happens. And it's like, oh, crap. Ow. What the hell? Why did I just do that? And it's a learning experience, bro. It's truly just a learning experience. There's nothing you can do about it. You got to learn, right? So I had some brutal injuries. I chipped my tooth running. Fell face first right on the concrete outside. Chipped my tooth. I had it repaired when I was 18. But that, and just one lovely day, my mom's doing laundry at the laundry unit in the community, because we had a laundry mat in the community, but not laundry in the housing unit. So we're doing laundry, right? And I decided to be so stupid, and I guess I thought bleach was water, and I just drowned my face in bleach, bro. When I tell you guys, that is one of the worst, because I know no one here has ever had that experience. I'm the only one. Probably very few in the world have had that experience. When I tell you, that is one of the worst pains besides torture in this world that you could ever experience. It literally feels like your eyes are wide open and there is an animal clawing at your eyes. That is how bad it feels, bro. You want to open your eyes so bad, but then again, you don't want to. But then again, you do, because you feel like if you open them, it'll stop hurting so bad. But it's like the liquid is so toxic that you could want to open your eyes and your eyes refuse to open, because they just want to stay clenched closed because of how hard it, or how much it burns and how hard it aches, right? But man, I remember playing outside with my cousins, and you know, every family that lived out there, there was 10 plus people to a unit, bro. I swear there was 10 plus people to a unit. Our neighbors right beside us, I remember there was a group of Haitians. It was like 14 of them in there. And then we had some Spanish people across, and I think it was like 10 of them in there. And the town I lived in, it was greatly populated by Spanish people and black people. And there was like no whites. There was whites, you know, kind of on the outskirts. They had like a house in town, but Spanish people and black people, bro, they kind of ruled that town. And Indian people for sure, because I'm of Indian descent, and my grandmother has lived there since she was in her 20s. Not this grandma, but I have another grandma who lives there. I got a whole family that lives there, bro. I have a whole family that lives there. We ain't gonna get into that right now, but my other grandmother, she's of Indian descent. She has lived there forever, since she was in her 20s. So she's now like 80 something. So you guys can see, I'm greatly tied to that town, even to this day, even though I don't live there anymore. But man, I just remember going outside. There were a lot of people with messed up doors. A lot of cars that looked like they were on their last breath. Right? A lot. As you would walk through the neighborhood, right? Not specifically in my row of housing, but as you would walk through the neighborhood, there was a good amount of people with messed up blinds, right? And I never really understood how that happens. Even to this day, like when you see it, you don't really, I guess pets maybe, right? Pets are something that would kind of cause that, but messed up blinds, bro, they're like a staple in low-income housing units. I guess we just don't give a crap about blinds, bro. We don't want, I have no idea, but messed up blinds. It was brick. It was orange brick outside, so you didn't really have, you know, like it didn't look messed up, right? Because it takes brick a while to get messed up, right? Or to kind of have that dingy look. Now, when you're dealing with wood and plastic, and you know how majority of everything else is, it could start to look dirty really quickly. But it was brick, right? Because it was in Florida, and Florida uses a lot of brick housing because of tornadoes and hurricanes. So it was brick housing, so it didn't really look too bad. But besides that, it could look bad. Now, I'm gonna be honest, it was not the worst, like I said in the start of this video. For the majority of the time, everything was upkept. You know, I don't really recall us having any interior problems, and I guess I probably wouldn't have known because I was so young, and it's not like I'm right next to my grandmother when she's putting in a call to maintenance about the water not working properly, or, you know, a leak or whatever the case. So I'm not really entirely sure about what that aspect of it looks like. But I do remember fairly well that it was pretty much upkept, all right? It was pretty well upkept, which means that they probably took really good care of the grass, and, you know, kind of like a weekly or an every 2-week thing. You know, it didn't look, like I said, it didn't look bad on the outside, so they probably kept like a touch-up team to kind of, if anything got too bad. You know, typical low-down cars outside. Nobody out there was making it. Nobody out there was rich. So, you know, you had your typical Hondas, you know, Toyotas, you know, your 80s cars, and that would kind of just, you know, they weren't hot, but they would get you where you needed to be. I remember a lot of wheels with no hubs on them, you know, no hub caps. And I just remember enjoying life, bro. I remember a lot of playing outside, you know, whether it was my cousins or the neighbors' kids. I remember just enjoying life outside. I remember being told countless times by my grandmother, you know, if you come back inside one more time, you're gonna stay inside. Oh man, it rings in my ears all the time when I think about it, which is so crazy. And it was true. You know, that's how parents were. You kept trying to come in and out for a drink of water or a drink of juice. They're gonna hit you with that. You know, if they've noticed you done did it a few too many times, all right, you come back inside one more time, you go stay inside. So I ended up taking my drink outside, and I ain't come back in until, you know, later on. But man, such a special time, bro. A special time. And the thing is that, you know, we weren't making it. You know, I do, however, remember times of going to my other grandmother's house, you know, to take showers and stuff like that. And I had so many other cousins on that side to where I was kind of always surrounded by people, you know, so I feel like that was a plus in my upbringing, even though it wasn't in, you know, a typical setting and environment that you would like to be in, that you would like to be raised in, you know. And I'm also thankful, and I'm very grateful that I didn't stay there longer than 7 years. You know, I was still kind of, I didn't even know what life was or what it meant to live, you know. So it was really my baby years that I was there and I was growing up, you know. And I'm grateful that it didn't roll over into my teens and, you know, everything else, because that probably would have affected me, you know, because you are your environment. And even though I wasn't in the worst situation, right, who's to say that it still wouldn't have affected me in a worse way versus if I did move, you know, out. So I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for having my family so close, because you know, as you get older, you don't see people as much as you would like, because everybody's got their own life, you know, everybody's got their own life. And you know, everybody's moved to Washington and Virginia, and some people are still in Florida, and then you've moved to, you know, South Carolina, North Carolina. So everybody's got different lives now, you know, everybody's doing their own thing. And it's not that you don't love that person, it's just that, you know, work takes up all of your time, right? You get holidays, but on holidays, you know, most people just want to kind of spend time with who's the closest to them as far as proximity, and just enjoy your time off, you know. And everybody doesn't have that luxury of traveling and just being able to go where they want, you know, because majority of us work for a living, you know. So if you could, you would, but it's like you gotta keep that money coming in, right? So I'm grateful for that. In my earlier years, I really had everybody at my disposal, you know. My mom was amazing. She did her best. She tried her best. She tried to make sure I went without nothing. I always had a warm meal. Shout out to my grandmother. You know, she held the fort down for every single body. And man, I miss her cooking dearly. I really do. I do remember we only had one car, and thinking about it now, it was my mom's car, which is so crazy to me. We had one car, which is wild. 13 people, that's insane. But other than that, I mean, everywhere was walked, you know. Like I said, it was a town, it wasn't a city. So, I mean, you could probably cover the whole town in, all right, well, let me not exaggerate. To cover the whole entire town, you could probably do it in like 2 days, 2 whole days. I feel like that's fair, 2 whole days. But like, you're talking one grocery store, one Dollar General that is still there to this day. It's been there forever with the grocery store. You're talking 3-4 gas stations, one Burger King that has been there again forever. You've got one post office. You've got one library. You've got one middle school, one elementary, and you've got, I believe they just opened up a high school. I could be wrong, but you've got your nearest high school, which is about 25 minutes out. So, like I was gonna say, majority of the places we just walked, you know, especially with my grandmother. I remember countless times just walking with her up to the store or to get stuff, you know, for food or whatnot. She always pulled out those EBTs though. Always pulled out those food stamps. Back in the day, you know, it was straight stamps. It was not the card. You know what I'm saying? Today we have the luxury of a card. Nah, bruh. It was straight stamps back in the day. Straight coupon, like physically a coupon. You feel me? So that was crazy. That was surreal. Again, I didn't understand what was going on. I just knew we was getting groceries. You feel me? Thinking about it now, I don't even remember where she got this from, but I remember having this ginormous tub of ice cream in the freezer. And thinking about it now, it's the same tub of ice cream that you would find at like an ice cream, like if you were to go out to Cold Stone or somewhere like that. You know how they got that tub sitting in and that's where they scoop your ice cream from? It was literally a tub like that. It was a tub like that of butter pecan. No idea where my grandma found that from, bro. But I can tell you, it was in that moment when I discovered that she brought that I found a love for ice cream. Oh my God. I was addicted. I was addicted to ice cream. Still to this day, I love ice cream. I don't really care for it because you know, as you get older, black people especially, you become lactose to all milk products. But, man, wow. I was like, I never even, getting older, I was just like, where even do you find a big tub of ice cream like that? And then thinking about it, oh, But then again, where did she even find that? Like, who did she get that from? Grandma, who did you get that from? And then we had the most basic small freezer or refrigerator. So it's like that took up the whole freezer. Besides that, I mean, you can only slip a few, meats in there. That took up the entire freezer, bruh. But, yeah, man, my mom, she did as best as she could. She made sure I never went out for anything. I discovered my love for WWE. To this day, I like WWE. I'm not a huge fanatic, but I care for it. Man, I remember, for all my birthdays, I would get one action figure, and I would kind of just stack up my collection. And I remember being in love with those little toys, bro. The Power Rangers, too. I love the little toy action figure Power Rangers. My love for music, I've always been an old soul. My grandma would put the old school singing groups on TV, and she had the CDs and whatnot, and I would listen to those nonstop because my love for music I had found, and I was just like, oh my God, what is this called and why is it so good? And I would be just like her, sitting right there listening to them, just in awe. Like, I don't know what's going on, but I like it. What is this? Then I got slightly older, and I started playing drums to those same songs, and I found my love for drumming, which I still drum to this day. I love it. I love drumming. And yeah, man, it was a very special time period in my life that I would never take for granted. It's taught me that I don't want to be in an environment like that, and I don't want to have to bring up a child that I bring into this world in an environment like that. Around the family, yes, that was a plus, but the overall environment, I don't want to have to bring my child up in the poorest little section of the town, because we all know what that brings, especially to this day. It was an earlier time period of my life, but oh my God, if we were to go back there now, I'm afraid to see what it would look like, because times have changed. The kids of today are not the kids of tomorrow, or I'm sorry, of yesterday. And oh God, I'm just sure it looks 100 times more worse and awful than what I was brought up in. So I would not wish that on my child. I would not want to do that. But man, I'm just thankful, bro. I'm thankful that I don't have to live like that anymore. I'm thankful that I still had morals instilled in me, to want better and to want more for myself, because I feel like a lot of us get complacent and stuck, in that place of, oh, well, I only have to pay $50 in rent, just throwing numbers out. I have a low income job. I have the government giving me food stamps. I'm on a utility program to where my utilities are all paid, and I can just survive off making $12 an hour to pay for whatever else, I'm not already getting supplied for. And, we get complacent living like that, like living the bare minimum of life. And I'm thankful that I still had morals instilled in me to where I was brought up in an environment like that, but I was never taught to just settle, to chase your dreams. And there's way more out there to life than here in this spot, living like this, barely making it. Like, there's more to life. This isn't a stopping point. This is a stepping stone just to get you where you need to go, because we're all going to go through hard times, we're all going to go through we're all not going to have it, but it's just a stepping stone. It's a building block to get you to your next level. It's not for you to live there and then die there. And this is my life. I depended on the government all my years, and I brought my kids up. My kids brought their kids up. Like, you don't want a whole generation of things to be brought up in an environment like that. Because quite frankly, it's not safe as we see today. And it's just not the best. You know, it's not going to get you a positive response later on from anybody, right? So I'm grateful for that time period in my life. I'm thankful for the people I had around me. And I'm just thankful that I never felt stressed, you know, because kids today can feel stressed, but I'm grateful that I didn't feel stressed, you know. And I'm grateful that the people around me allowed me not to feel stressed and not to feel burdened. But yeah, man, you know, I remember days, you know, not having lights, you know, not having water, you know, all the little things that you're gonna get living in low income, you know, because you're still trying to make it, right? Yes, it was a lot of us. Everybody was not working, right? I think some of my uncles were I think my uncle was still in school, one or two of them. Everybody was fairly young. My mom probably had only just graduated 5 or so years. So, you know, my dad was being a dad, you know. He was from the same town, just, you know, that he's on my other grandmother's side. So, but, you know, he was still being young. You know, I love him to death now, but when he was younger, you know. He was a dad. He was running the streets and, you know, getting into stuff he shouldn't have been doing. But again, it was a growing experience. He's much better now. And I'm proud of him and what he's doing and what he's able to accomplish, and, you know, how he's just bringing up my other brothers, you know. And he's an awesome dad. So I'm thankful for him too. Thankful for my mom. I'm just thankful for that overall experience, you know. And if you're in that situation, bro, it does not have to be eternal. All right. I know a lot of us who are in that situation, you feel like this is like it's an end all be all, like I could never get out of this. You can get out of it. It is very possible. You just have to want to get out of it. You know, you just gotta want. You have to want to enable yourself to get out of it, because the longer you depend on those people, bro, the worse and the more hard it's gonna be to get out, you know. So if you needed this video for encouragement, it's time to get out, bro. Don't let that define your entire life, you know. Get out and live. There's way more to life than just your current situation, you know, of negative people, you know, of people who don't have a front row seat to the future, you know, who don't see a way out of this. Like, they're, you know, even though I didn't feel affected, all of that affects you, you know, your neighbors and your surroundings and your you know, all of that, especially when you're older. You know, I was still young, so, you know, I moved out at 8 years old, you know, so now I'm starting to be influenced by what's around me. But you know, when you're older, it's just like it weighs on you, bro. It weighs on you. So don't be influenced by the people around you, what they doing. Get up out of there. Get up out of there. All right. I'm not gonna lie, some of y'all belong there, bro, but a vast majority of us don't belong there. All right, we don't. It's just a stepping stone. Ain't nothing wrong with, you know, a little reset. You know, you need a little help. We all get down bad, but don't make it eternal. All right, it's just a stepping stone. Use that to greater your life and to greater your advantage to move on to the next thing. Don't get complacent. Don't fall victim to it. Don't fall victim to the curse. Don't get complacent. Don't be steady. Don't be vulnerable to them giving you certain things, and they will stop. They will take away what they're giving you too. You know, so just keep all that in mind. You know, only use it as a stepping stone. Don't try to take advantage of it. Don't try to use it more than you need it. All right, and yeah, man. Thank you guys for watching.